Well, good morning. Not like too many people are right up with me right now this morning doing this. I've been up a little bit. I got to sleep in this morning. This is persecuted author. I got to do a front yard discussion because I'm not having too good a physical condition right now. I went into overload and fight or flight to help an autistic boy next door that wanted to help his mom get things fixed at the local repair guy in Port Hope. Ignored him. I think he was being judgmental. The lawnmower, pretty sad. So I'm sitting here in Port Hope this morning, sucking up sunshine, and I am discussing local governments. And I'm talking your mayors, I'm talking your commissioners, and I'm talking your state reps. These are the people that I've had dealings with that have failed me in hate crimes, failed me in safety. Okay? There is no law on the books that makes them accountable for condoning to hate crimes or not doing anything to help, or if they jump in on the bandwagon, they're never held accountable. I don't believe that if these people are hired by you to represent you, that this should go MIA. My local mayor left me with my story of 7+ years, actually 9 years, but 7+ years. The commissioner, the state rep, the county dispatch, 911, law enforcement, nobody is making anybody accountable because it's the good old boy clique. Now, to me, that's pretty disappointing. The commissioner up here that's being recalled worked for the schools. If anybody knew about how to stop hate crimes, heal feelings amongst each other, it was supposed to start in the schools. He retired working in the schools and a superintendent. And he should be convicted of a hate crime. But because he's protected under the law as a government, I got to get up the stretch for a minute. I want people to know that I'm out here doing this. And they will. They'll hear about it. My tree swallows are having a fuss of a time because I'm out here recording this. I'm not trying to disrupt them. But we've been put these signs up here for these kids, right? We put these down. I've been trying my best to get things resolved on another path, not just my own desire to stop adults with the crap they do. The hate crime, harassment, persecution. It's all supposed to be a law-breaking remembrance, but we stop practicing it. And when I'm talking to fire chiefs, I'm talking to Bible toters, I'm talking to retired school commissioners, I'm talking to dispatch. I even called the director of dispatch because I wanted some answers on why I was treated so disrespectfully, and I wanted documents. Whatever's been said and done about me and my family, or the fact that I'm asking them to do their job title for what they're being paid for, because if I remember correctly, I condoned to that financing. Contributed, not condone, contribute, because I don't condone in misuse. So I wanted to rephrase that and reword that. I'm paying them to not represent me, to not make change in a community. Ain't that crazy? I'm paying them to sit on their butts. Commissioners make $1,200, $1,500 a month. My state rep is $72,000, and he's done nothing in his term. And you know what the Republican Party told me? Because I wanted to run, I put my bid in, and I'd have whooped him. I wanted to whoop him because I wanted to go out here and clean up what he hasn't done. But they told me, said, well, just let him be for 2 years and you come back in 2 years. And I said, I've never paid anybody for a job they've never done. That's like sending your car to have front brakes on it, and they give it back to you with the new brakes, but the new brakes have never been installed. But yet you paid them $80 an hour. Why are we allowing these laws to be in place? And every time we hear a law, it is directed towards you as an individual on a daily basis, not the local government bodies. They don't fall in those categories. They're protected. So wait a minute. If we hired them and we paid them, why are they not subject to our contract, not their own? This is not to create a revolt. This is to create a change. I was shocked how much protection they do by the books and amongst themselves. They know they protect each other. I was a full-blown Republican. We supported Trump, supported a change, because truthfully, in the 4 years first was fine. Right now, what everything's gone on, I don't know where to stand. I watch old movies and I watch Gunsmoke, and as old as I can, because in those movies they write scripts according to, they get their ideas for their scripts to write according to what's going on in the town, city, wherever they're at as a whole. And I look at that. Some of them had the same problems back then. I correlate that to where I'm trying to get my head wrapped around where we went wrong. Now, truthfully, I think the old days is where it should be. And since I'm sitting out here on this road, my complaining road, I am recording the fact. I'm trying to do everything at the same time. I'm trying to record the truth that people don't care how they drive. They don't care about people they don't know. But what concerns me the most is how the governing body is protected, and you have to have a petition to remove them. Not true testimony of failure, but a petition. Now, if you were able to put out a testimony of failure,
I'm back again.
And the wrongdoings they've done for
Sunday
you,
morning, second video.
It should be just like a jury trial. You should have 11 or 13 people on the board
Front Yard Talks
to make a judgment, and they should be outed. We should not have to walk around with a petition to remove them for not representing us in a well-minded atmosphere and to change the community for the better.
Look at me all day.
Guess what?
Some of these people do videos. I don't look at them all day.
That's why all of these local politicians are still sitting.
Listen, that's what Paul Harvey
because if you don't word the words right in the petition, and you're only one or two people doing the petition, and the petition that's happening in Huron County,
you just listen.
I got pushed out by the Republicans by another Republican and his foul mouth of whatever gossip has been spread around this community. That's fine.
Radio stations, but
I want to watch them
will allow me
fail.
To do that someday, and I'll have a job.
I tried to help them make them succeed because I know what I'm doing. And listen to me, people. I'm saying it over and over again. The jealousy amongst men. I can see why they're jealous of me. I'm capable.
I want to explain to you why I think
and willing. They're not. That's the difference.
Don't work.
You got to want to. You got a desire to want to, and you have to be able to.
Don't work. The reason for that.
Allow other people in to help make the change if you want them to change. You can't be the Superman trying to do it all by yourself because local bodies of government are protected.
None of us have that. I don't have the time.
I got to move out of that front side. I'm kind of sitting in another spot
3 years behind
for the time being.
In my world, maybe 4.
The grass was great. It's what I needed for my feet, but I'm sitting here so I can just be seen after the fact. That'll work.
I think it should be in a petition aspect.
So
I think it should be completely off
for
the books. I
For the
think it's against our
governing bodies to
constitutional
be
right,
protected.
and I'm not trying to create a revolt.
Now
or
you totally
protest or anything
understand
else.
why
I just feel
nobody
it's
gets
a
involved,
constitutional right
because
to be
of
heard
how
and
much
be
time
lead
and effort out of your personal life it
by the
takes
words out your mouth.
to have
When
somebody
you go
removed
have 500 other people sign that signature, they
on a
don't know
petition.
your whole story.
When you and I took a job,
It should be publicized,
if we violated
and it shouldn't take 500 people.
the employer's
Your story should be
handbook,
publicized,
which
and then you should be
you and I
voted
are the
on. We have the
employees,
technology.
right?
Everybody's
We
got
got to
apps.
stop forgetting that.
It should be able to be
If
instantaneously.
the
A 7-day process,
employee
not 6,
is
7
not
more months to where they're getting paid.
following
That's why
the
people are still
guidelines
sitting
of the
in the
employer,
offices. That's why people are
you're
still
fired.
sitting in long-term seats, whether it be your $500 a month job or all
That
the way
should
up to
be the same
$120,000 a month
thing.
job. The problem
Governing
of it
bodies
is to get right down to
using the
brass
government
taxes, we are the employer,
protection to
but we're
keep
not
them in
allowed
power.
to
When they fail, you,
involve in
as
the
the
corporate
employer,
meetings
is shameful. Shameful.
that
It should not
we
be
should
like
be
that.
drawn into or allowed to participate
If we don't start
in.
holding accountability, and these people realize that in less than 30 minutes of a
So we
testimony
can let
from individuals
the other
in a
investors know
non-biased mediation hearing, that the
why we
gavel should be
demand this.
thrown down and they should ask them to step
You
down
should be able to have a hearing. You should be able to have
because
an
of the
uneven
facts
panel.
laid in front of them, not because you've
And this
got
should be instantaneously.
525 signatures.
Just like career criminals
That's
or even
ridiculous.
somebody
I've
who
been
has
that
been
route. They're doing it
without a
now.
reasonable doubt
How darn dumb.
charged of a crime, 110%
That
evidence
means,
is laying there. But look at how long it takes
in my eyes,
to
if
incarcerate.
I'm not allowed to speak up
Look at how long it takes
and hold accountability
for them to
for my local
ever pay
government
their price,
to be able to
even
be
if they were
heard
sentenced to death row.
and have the Constitution used
We all
on
pay
our
for that.
behalf,
We're the employer.
I don't want to
For
pay
other
my
people
taxes
making
anymore.
decisions that we think are foolish and stupid
I'll never
and
call
selfish,
911.
and it's one-sided.
I'll
So you
never
remember when you get all your
bring
campaign stuff in the mail,
circumstances.
it disgusts
I'll
me.
never bring
Some of them have the audacity
safety issues. I'll never bring nice ideas to the
tell you
community
they've
to get
changed.
better
You want them
because
they
I'm
want
not
you
paying.
to vote in so they can get that
But when I pay my
monthly
taxes
income. I want a monthly
and I'm
income.
told
They
to go
took it
back
from me.
in my house
The politicians took it from me. The mayors,
because we're not going to
the
change it
commissioners,
because you're not a last name
right?
person.
The state
We're
reps.
not going to change it
Recalls
because we don't care to listen because it wasn't our
should
idea.
not have to be of such a harsh
Wow.
magnitude.
Is that
If
true?
you have totally
Is
neglected
that fair? That's
your
unjust.
duties or your compassionate heart to wear it on your sleeve, as you say you represent America, I don't care what
And the
district,
government wonders why
as you say
we
you
have a hard
represent
time
America, and you're using Trump's slogan from
trying to get along.
2020. I mean, come on.
They're not willing to
I still say
get
make
along.
America worse again. The
It's like
Republicans are
once
doing
they
it
get
again.
in there, the governmental cult,
Okay, so let me
which
tell you
makes it
this.
sound like I'm trying to do a revolt here.
This is going to be
Boy,
another
gotta
video.
get up,
But
move
I'm
a couple
kind of throwing
times, and
this
I don't
in here.
need to
Look
take you
at the
guys on
cannabis industry.
a
Look
vertigo
at how
walk
hard it's
because
been
the sun's shining
to
on
get a
me and
natural grown herb
I've got my
to take care of millions
eye
of people.
protectors on. It's hard to
Bureaucracy,
see my screen, so bear with.
politicians, the long
But when the governmental
process
cult
for
is
recall.
backing each other, just
The
like when I seen
deception
Greg
you're getting
Alexander
from your
talking about
pardons.
Dairy Farmer Month. Really?
When everybody thought the Republicans were just going to allow
When was the last time an
medical
inspector was in
marijuana
any of these
people or
dairy
people who
farms up there?
choose not to set in a bar
If you've seen some of these
become
dairy
another
farms, how
danger
dirty
to
they are,
society by
and then the
drinking
truck
and then
goes and
going,
pumps in.
because
I've
bars
been
and
inside
bartenders
of
are not
a
accountable.
parlor.
And
It's
as we're
gross.
sitting here, I'm doing this here in front of this road because this road's been my complaint of safety for
But yet,
years.
Greg Alexander
never
hasn't
left
even taken
this
my concern
road all the way
to
down
the
to
House floor.
all the way to the governor's
He's
desk.
never called me
Because
back.
I've made phone calls and nobody ever calls
I
back.
pay him,
Back in my day, we always got
but
a
he's
response.
protected.
We used typewriters and rotary phones and things worked.
Protected by a law that has no
They
law.
didn't have caller ID.
So if there's no
They
law,
didn't have call block. Even though call
how
block
can
was
you
nice.
bring a crime against them?
Especially when it comes
I
to
don't
that little
think
box
that
when you
we
have
should
your
have
rotary
to
phone,
have a law
plug it in.
to bring a legit
And you're
complaint
done.
to a mediator
So back
board.
to this industry. the
It
hemp,
shows
the
that they're
benefits
just
it
not
does,
doing their
the natural
job.
environment, we
That's
could
like
say,
having human
the
resources.
cleaner our air would be. Growing more of that, bamboo and
You
other
have a
things
hiring
like
process
that
and
here
you have a firing
in the
process.
climates that are
You and I should be really truthfully
adequate
government's
for
human
the
resource.
nutrition
And it shouldn't take 500 of
for the
us.
growth.
It should
We
only take
probably even
one of
have
us, like me. The
milder
wrongdoings
climates
of
that we
my
were used
local
to. You
government
had
to
the
make
adequate rain,
change,
and
to
then you
stop
shut
the
the
hate,
valve
the
off. You had
disrespect,
adequate
the
snow, you shut the
persecution, the
valve.
attacks, the
And I say
deaths.
that, and a lot of people go, yeah, well, we had
And all of the
44
words
feet.
that
Well,
I'm
you take
speaking
it,
have
you shut the
precedence
I know,
because I
snow is
have
snow.
the
But in
facts to
water
back it up.
content, it's a mild flood.
But how
But
in the world
we would have a lot more benefits, and we'd have a lot more people
are they
working
protected? And when they're
and
protected, they
creating our
don't
own
owe you
products right
the
here
respect
in
to
our
call you
nation
back.
like we used to. Just using green products, not green energy. Green products. I'm talking hemp. I'm
Wow.
talking cannabis. I'm talking bamboo.
I'm trying to
But
figure
yet
this
we're doing
out.
coal. We're tearing up national forests. This is what's taking me away from being a Republican. I don't
When
believe in
you
going out
have
and killing animals
had a
for sport.
successful career,
I don't
my
believe in
career has
drilling
not
for
been
oil and
successful.
national reserves
I've
and then
never been
blame the
so bad
animals for
off and
coming in
broke in my
town and
life,
wanting food
all because of
and,
here.
and, and shelter
All
for their
because of the
family
local
because you've
government
taken
who
their
has ripped me
environment away
down
from
and allowed its community good old boy
them. That's
network
the
to
same thing
totally
with the
destroy
data
me.
centers.
On M Live,
They're taking your
no wait,
environment
take
away
that
from
back.
you. And look
On
at
here
how
on Daily
mad you
Tribune,
are.
there's a gentleman on there talking about the
I've not
depletion
seen
and
a
the
Republican
decretion
in
of
this
the population in
administration or
Huron County
across the
because of
board
their
really
acts.
work for the voter. When
And
the
then Gary
voters
Wilson
voted
went
in
in there and spoke, and he
cannabis,
was a Harvard
these
lawyer. He
Republicans
opened
here are
up a
lying.
business up here. They purposely ran
I
him out,
know
even
that.
last
My
3
state
years.
rep lied to
But
me.
he had the money.
They call it a
I'm
monster.
caged in.
And I said the monster was because you guys let things
There's no
go
padlocks,
and you
but I'm
didn't go
caged in.
around and had inspectors. LARA, the government, stole from the growers.
And when
Just
you're
revenue.
okay with
Revenue
that
is a word
because
I
you
hate.
think you
I've
went
always
to
hated
church on your Wednesdays, your
it because
Saturdays,
that's a
your
lie.
Sundays, or even before you go to
Revenue
bed,
is for
that
them
yet
to misuse, not to re put back
you've
into
done
the
wrong
system. That's why recalls don't work.
by
That's why you still have people that
by a
So,
you've done wrong to
being as I
condone to
made
the
that
acts of hate
statement
and
there
violence. You
on
should
the
automatically be
financial end of this,
expelled right now. The
and
expulsion should be
not having
in.
inspectors. So during COVID, if you had a business license or anything, you were eligible
When your
for
story's as real as mine and as
relief money.
heart-wrenching and destroying
You
as
always
mine, that should be enough to remove every person
do you know how many
from
people got
every
relief
local
money
government that I've
in
had dealing
Michigan,
with,
and
even
nobody
the
went and
director of
looked if
911,
they
even
qualified?
the
But
sheriff.
look at this. Look at the people that need
Petitions
DHS for
should
their
not
family.
be in
And I don't
place.
understand why we have two
Here,
DHSs. And you
I'm not
understand what I mean?
holding the
Department of
employees
Homeland,
of these
and then we have
departments.
Department of Certain. Yeah,
I'm
see,
holding the
somebody
directors
needs to
who I've
change the
been in
alphabet.
contact with through
So, anyways,
voicemail,
because if they said
who I've
DHS is
yelled
trying to
at for
contact
years.
you, you're freaking out. You don't know
I mean, when your
yeah.
911
What
director
alphabet
don't
group's
call you
coming?
back because you know you need info out of there and they're ignoring you, they know
When
they're
you're going to
covering something up
regulate
too. They got
something,
to
you
be,
have to
or
have the
they hate me from
bodies that
somebody
are
else's mouth.
in the jobs that you're paying
That's
for. Now,
shameful.
listen,
You are
everybody that's
not
hired that's
supposed to
working in
be
a
like
state
that.
job,
Isn't
we
there a
are still the
bipartisan
employer
and
to those
a
people.
non-bias and
But yet you are locked out. When you call them, they don't have to call you back.
what are all
You
those
should be
darn
able to call
words?
them and go, yeah, what are you doing today?
Yeah,
Did
I'm
you punch in?
exhausted. I got
How
to
long
sleep a
lunch
little
did you
bit
take?
last night. I laid in bed
You can't do any
longer.
of that.
I didn't get up at no 2 or 3 o'clock,
How many
but I
vacations
know
you
I'm
had this year? Don't
breaking more
ask them.
teeth the way
But
my
yet
mouth
they're
feels.
employed for you.
And
This
I
is why
can't wear a
recalls don't
mouthpiece
work.
because they ripped my
All the
teeth
way
out
from the top
because
to
the
the
ones that
bottom.
were destroyed. Actually, from a
We
bad
should be
dentist
able
when
to
I
have
was in my 20s.
110% transparency that when
But
we
because
know
I did what I
something
did
is unjust
while I
and
sleep
corrupt,
and I grit,
that we have
I
proof
destroyed that. Or I'd still
without
probably still
reasonable
have them,
doubt. It
and I'd
shouldn't take
still be able
500
to eat,
signatures because
you know,
if you as an
my dark
individual
chocolate
have
out
to
of the
sue
refrigerator,
somebody, do you think the
my
courts would
peanuts,
allow
my
you to have
walnuts, things I've
500
always ate.
witnesses come to the stand?
You know,
No.
I got to watch what I eat so I don't break it off and have
You
to
know
have
why they wouldn't let
surgery.
that much come to the stand?
That's a disgusting crime in itself right there.
Because it takes up too much
But I think
time.
you and I,
Well, ain't that funny?
as human
It takes
resources
up too much time
to
to do a
this
petition.
local
And
body
that's
of
why
government,
petitions aren't done.
we need to make sure we
So why do we
change
not have a
this so the
petition happens
accountability is
instantaneously
instantaneously,
and
not
people
dragged
could
out,
record their
not through the
statements?
bureaucracy and the red tape and the paperwork,
Every statement
by a
needs to
simple
be
few words
reviewed.
that
It
weren't
needs to
written
be
on a piece of
documented, just
paper
like through the
and the
clerk's office.
signatures that weren't
You
legit.
are able to put in your
Your
testimony about
voice
you
should
taking
be
time off
enough
of work.
to be heard,
and footing around
to
and
make
paying the
that
gas
change.
to get signatures.
Especially if you do it in a
If
decorum
they want a
like me.
petition process that works,
I'm not
it has to
screaming.
work for us.
I'm not fouling.
So we don't give
I'm
up
not
the fight
threatening.
because it's exhausting.
I'm
Right now, what I'm doing
pointing
now
out
is,
facts
my
and
health
truth.
and my whole atmosphere.
Now, these
and my
cars that are
wife's
going to the
verbal
right
and
of
I
me,
relationship back
yeah,
and
and it
forth,
should,
because she's
hopefully
mad
I
at me because
post it
I'm
the
still
same way. I've had a lot of
continuing
editing trouble
this. She's a little more
because of my
reserved. And I said
quality
it'd be helpful
Samsung
if I
phone
had
that
more
really isn't
people
that dang smart,
helping
just so
me,
you know.
right?
The
same
cars that are
thing with
going to the
anybody
right
out
of
there being
me
a
are going
petitioner.
in town at that speed.
That's like you
And the state has
working
walked away from this.
4,000 hours a week to pay for everybody else to stay home. You're mad at that.
Even though your
But
governor
because we're not
has
doing
people in
things
places
in
that
a
hire these other
positive
people,
attitude in the
even like people
directions,
in
we're
MDOT,
not creating,
I should be able to have
God,
that
I almost
person
said
put
that
on
revenue
notice.
book.
I
We're not
should be able to
creating
put in
assets
there, and you should have
to
like
be
a
reused
3-strike
again.
rule.
So
But
that
because
goes
nobody
to
governs
what I was
over
referring
them,
to in the
and they're
beginning of
not
that
being,
statement. When
I
they
don't want to
were a
say
business
dictated,
in this
but they're
state
not being
and they got relief
evaluated
money,
on their progress
there
and
should
the
have been
jobs they've
some
done. They
sort
can
of
just
deed
work
paid
from
back.
home. And when you call, they got
Me,
caller ID. They don't have to
with
answer.
my mortgages, the things
That's
that
why
had to
it's
be
wise to
done,
have more than one
and how
phone,
bad
even if it's a $25
this
line.
devastation
Trick
here
them,
cost me.
but they'll still hang
What I
up
had
on
to
you. I've
do,
had it happen to me.
oh yeah, don't even, yeah.
I've had every bit of it happen to me.
I am still.
These are
If
the
I
people that are
don't
accountable for my
show
health
that
issues.
I am
These are the
efforting
people who
put
contribute to
into
my
it,
health
or
issues.
if I
Because
stop
one of these parties should have been
paying
able
on
to
it,
man up,
they own my possessions.
do a respectful job,
Same with the
and
state
look out
when
for
they
me
are
as a
giving out this
resident of
relief money.
the
That's to
United
get you over the
States,
hump.
of this
If you
community.
stay and you still create assets,
But
not
guess
revenue,
what?
assets,
They don't
because
care either because they're
revenue is a way
protected.
to waste.
I
Assets
was
is a
never
way to
protected in my
invest.
jobs if I mishandled myself.
That's just plain and
Yeah,
simple.
yeah. I've been a union steward. I've worked in unions.
So
I whooped the
for
guy's
me,
ass.
I
Well,
have
my
made
apologies.
tons of
Scratch that
effort
foul mouth. I've whooped
indirectly
the guy's
to
butt
LARA and everybody
at
else
work because he threatened me, and I took him
on
out.
many
Never punched
topics,
out
and
the
you know how
clock.
many
Took him
people
outside.
don't
And I told
talk.
him, I said, it's gonna
All of
happen
them.
if you don't
They
stop.
don't
And
have
he was
to.
mouthing
They don't have
off. So I
accountability. Why are they
put
not
one on him
punched
and
in on a
dropped him on the
clock
ground. And I told him if I get up,
and
I said,
rated
you're
on a
not going to go
production
home
scale
today.
as you and I are when we're in the manufacturing?
And you know, the union protected me
That's why we have strikes,
for my conduct.
right?
But when I
That's why you're
become
hired and fired.
sick
But the amazing part of it is just
because of
because
something
you
that
are a
happened to me at
government
that young
entity,
age,
from
the
the
union
local
didn't
all the
protect
way
my
up,
job. I was unable
you
to perform
still
my
tell
duties,
everybody when you run for office that you
and I was
campaign,
removed,
and I'm
and
here
nobody
for
could
you and I'm
protect me.
willing to listen. But how
Think about
often
that.
is their phone number
That's the same
changed?
thing with the governing bodies.
How often is our identity changed? and then they
They're
got the
protected
money to buy other
by their
houses
union.
so they could go work from home as a representative
That don't
in
seem
different
right.
places on vacation home, relief
I
the
thought the
stress, and
integrity of a
still
human
hide from
being is
being in
how
your
we were
district.
supposed to make things flow, and if you are not
I'm just saying it makes a lot of
making our
sense to me.
society better
Makes
again,
a ton of sense to me.
then maybe you should be
This is
removed
why
because
recalls don't
we were
work.
trying to make America great
That's
again.
why you're still paying people
Well,
to be. That's why
America's worse
these
again.
people in this area here, the mayor, the commissioners, everybody just said, I'm just going to wait
Where
until it
in the
tumbles.
world
That's what makes
is
me mad
the
about the Republican Party when I
where's
wanted
the
to take
men
on
at
Greg
anymore?
Alexander because he
I
neglected
wish
to
there
be
was more women
a
on some
human
of these
being.
boards around here, but it's a men-controlled situation.
He neglected to have compassion. He
I think
neglected to
women
have care.
have more
And I thought,
ability
I'm not paying
to
him
stand
anymore, and I
strong
need a freaking job.
against the
When the
nasty,
Republican Party
evil, and the
tells me, let
corruption
him set
than the
2 more
men do
years, you go work
because they're,
locally and work your way up. I'm already
I don't
62.
know, tight click,
I've got a
pushovers.
resume.
Why is that? Why do you do that?
I'm not 21.
I've hung out with people
That's how
before,
it
but I
should have
wouldn't
been
let
looked
them
at.
mistreat, misuse, and forget.
That's just like the
If I
job.
knew them and I trusted
I
them
don't
around
care if
my
you're
house,
Democrat
I
or
should never
Republican.
hear one thing that they're doing
Voting
wrong
straight
that
ticket is what screws us.
misrepresents
Because
what
then
we
we
are
don't have to
as
take the effort
humans.
into looking into the parties and the
But
individuals
once these
anymore.
guys get
We've
into this
laxed
local
that,
government,
and we
they
always
forget
should
what it's like to
in
be
your
a
area
human.
district. But we always
They
figured that
forget
we were
all of that.
supposed to vote Republican and or Democrat, straight tickets. Everybody's got
But yet they're not accountable for that.
your
When they
life in
condone
mind when they take their first oath and put their hand on that Bible and accept that job.
to the hate crimes and the wrongdoing
That's why
amongst
recalls don't
everybody.
work. If you can
and they don't help
Corruption,
change it for the better,
laundering, involvement.
why are they still there? See, the recall
crimes,
over here for Joe Murphy and stuff is
gossip,
because he's padding his
persecution.
pocket
If you
for the
take your job
solars or
to a
whatever he
local
did, set
restaurant or a
aside
pub, they
15,000
do that
acres.
here in Port
And
Hope.
then
It's
Vaughn,
horrible.
in
And I know
another
they do it in the
district,
county. I've already
he's
heard.
in the same boat, and he's been side by
You
side
as a
by
representative are
DTE. But
not
guess
allowed.
what?
If we're
No
not allowed to
accountability.
go
You
into
see how
closed
fast that car's
meetings,
going?
and you
See
tell
how
us we're
fast
not
that
allowed
truck
to
and boat's
record in a
going?
public place.
Right
Why
there
are
in front
you
of me on the
taking
right
private meetings
is the
to the public?
town, and clear out to the left, like I showed you before, and some of you that ain't watched these videos. Clear out
I
here to
don't
the
even want to
left.
use
Out here
businesses
was the
because
city
here,
limits,
these businesses aren't businesses.
the
Businesses are
village
something that
limits.
looked out for the well-being of the people and gave them
Right
good
out there.
service. These businesses up here only do it for
Way
one thing.
out there.
They need to keep up the dirt.
That's the town. This is
They
a
don't
little
do it
area. These
for
are
the
community. There's
well-being, and then
kids
they
here.
don't put anything back into
But
their
my governing
business. They
body,
just open it up
from
and
the
come and
mayor
go.
to the commissioner
But I don't want to get
to the
off
police
track on that.
department and to the state rep, said
That's corruption.
nobody's been hurt yet. We're
That's
not
keeping
doing
the
it.
community divide. They should be using the Fifth Amendment
I
when they
hired
leave that
these
office
people.
when it's adjourned, unless
Apparently.
it's amongst themselves. Now, if it's an open meeting, they can have those
I didn't hire
conversations.
these people. You
reaching
hired them.
decisions, being influenced by decisions,
And if you
and
hired
everything
them,
else
you
is
should be
still
able to
considered
fire them.
corruption. And they know it
Just
is,
because of
but
their
nobody
wrongdoings
brings
and
it
their
out. Why?
acts.
Because you're tired, because it takes too much time, and they've got us
Are we
so
ever going to
busy
be able
trying
to put a
survive
law
and pay
in
our
there like
bills
that to
that we don't have free time
have that
to
be
collect
part
on
of
petitions.
the
Now, back
job
in the day, when petitions were
handbook?
being done, people had them out in front of their houses, and people would stop all day long.
Yeah, we should.
News traveled fast.
But are you ever going to be able to get it put in place? Nope. Because why? Because you have to go through the governing body to get it
but people
implemented
pick and
into law.
choose where they're going to get involved in, because they already know no matter what time they put into it, it never goes through because of
Make sense to me.
So we
Well,
just
we're
get
supposed
rid
to
of
have
collecting the
representation.
signatures.
Make that make sense to me.
We
Here's what I
create
say.
and instantaneously recall.
I say we don't need the commissioners,
and
because of the acts
could
that they're
also
doing,
have
and it's all over Michigan.
a
But this is
bipartisan group
happening here.
outside
We don't
of
need the
your
commissioners
jurisdiction.
when they stop looking out for the people. When your
Mandate
state
those
rep has failed and has not
reports.
had no
And then
laws
go
put
over
in
it
place
with
for the
the
betters, and they've
petitioners
walked away from several, 6, 7,
to
8
come to an
ideas that I
understanding
have
amongst
that are
themselves.
guaranteed
I think that's, oh my Lord, ooh, that
to
just
create some
that's
sort
perfect.
of a better, safer way in this community.
No time
And they
wasting.
walked away from that, but yet they're not
Like
held
the
accountable for
recalls
that.
up here over and over again.
They can still have their jobs for not helping out.
Get it done once. Social
Why?
media,
Why
everybody's
is the
willing to
state
find
rep
out what Betty Sue's
allowed
wearing in
to
her backyard when she's rototilling.
do nothing
I seen a video this morning.
and then go
It
through
was
a
funny.
review process?
These guys in
Wait a minute. The review
is it Wayne
process
County?
is me
No, where
standing
was it?
right here.
Gosh, I wish I remembered, but I'm about half.
The review
Freeland.
process is me standing right here
He's
speaking.
older man, retired man.
This should be enough to
You
say
sure know
you're
they
out.
like sports.
I can't
and
believe
beer
you failed
because
those
they
people.
were definitely not in shape, and that's not being disrespectful, because kudos
If
to
his
them
story's true,
mosquitoes
which it is,
with cold water washing cars in the sunshine.
I'm sorry,
That would
Mr.
be
Greg
embarrassing
Alexander.
for me.
You're going to have to go be a door
Even worse
greeter.
so with my disease. It would
I'm
be
sorry,
really
Mr. Joe
embarrassing
Murphy, Commissioner.
when these guys
You're
are
going
out
to have
there
to go
doing
get a
it.
door greeting job too.
You know
Oh,
what?
and you,
They just brought
Gary
America
Shea,
back again.
Mr. Mayor,
With something
Fire Chief,
different.
you're
They
done
didn't get
too.
on social media.
Why?
And get
Because
in
I just
comment
invoked a
of
new
dirt that shouldn't even
law
been
called the
posted,
Common Sense Law.
which is private. And I felt the same way about what happened up here on payroll problems.
That you're accountable.
What happened in payroll, and the
You're accountable for the damage to my family, my health,
did
and
not bring it
my
up.
well-being and my
I don't know how many
income.
times, how many pays they got over and above, but their increase
Because
was
you
pretty
failed me,
significant.
making America great again,
But there was a
and made America
circumstance
worse
right there
again.
where honesty and integrity should have just been the party's job to come back.
And
We've
you
had
send
that
flyers
happen
to
to
my
us.
house as
But
if
I'll
I'm going
talk
to jump
about
on the
that later.
bandwagon
You
and
know,
help you
well, you know,
get
if
in
you're having
office. You're
direct
wrong.
deposit and you already
People
got
keep
an
telling
idea
me
somewhat
don't
of what
stop
it
the
is, and
fight.
there's a few
Get in the
$100 more
vote.
there.
Uh-uh.
You don't want to
I
be
put the
having
fight
to pay
in,
that
and I
back.
put the vote in, and what I got back
Don't
in
spend
return
it until you know you're free and clear.
was
Get
a crap
statement
sandwich.
for it. But that's completely off topic of the reason for this video. That's just a little bit of conversational
And because they all know each other,
But,
and they're all dirty and crooked, it doesn't
this
take long
recall
for them
thing
to
needs
become
to
buddies.
change, because there's so much
because they're
going
protecting
on
each other.
all
And as
over
long
the
as they
county,
protect
all
each
over the
other, they
states
still,
here,
again,
places
have the
where I used to
government
live
law
and all that
that
stuff.
does not
It's not
hold
going
them
good for
accountable
everybody.
for immediate removal
So
for the
I think
lack
we're on
of
a
their
roll
job duties
on that
and titles
topic.
and
We
responsibilities
need to make
to you and I,
recalls easier again.
the employer.
It shouldn't be this way.
So
And
I'm
if
going to
the
rest with
corruption
that for the
comes
moment.
and you're not
I want
looking
my
out for the
videos to be
well-being,
short,
and you're endangering the
but they're
community,
sweet.
or you're keeping hate in the community,
And I'm going to keep up
you
this
should at least
conversation.
be
I'm going
on
to keep up
notice
this
in
fight, and I'm going
writings,
to bring this
right?
out.
3 strikes, you're out.
And we are going to definitely
At least it
not
has to
revolt.
go on notice. Why?
We're not taking this in the street
That's
like
how
the
I
other
feel.
protesters do and destroy the community. We're going to handle this like grown men.
Because we should not have animosity against each other when nobody's asking anybody to give
We're
their
going to see
right
to it
arm to somebody. When you're
that there's a
talking about
change and
integrity
accountability for the
and
people you and I
accountability,
hired
you
to look
expect
out
that
for us.
as
We
us
should not
when
be
we
burning
live
up
and
our hours
represent your
making
community.
videos and signing
Some of us do
petitions
that, some of
to
us
remove
don't.
somebody that's incapable of their
But
job.
you are the
That should
supposed
not even be that
hierarchies,
shit. You think about
and your
that.
representation is
How
falling
many of
apart.
you people have been
Your willingness to care.
terminated,
It's all,
bad
you know,
record,
when you
and then you could
retired
not
from
get
your
another
job and then you
job
wanted a job to retire in,
because of
you
the
retired 3
acts
times because then you retired from
that
us.
you were supposedly fired for, whether it be true or not true?
But you
You
should
were
be
still
wrote up
terminated.
on any time there's an attempted recall.
You didn't even
Whether the
get the
wording went
right
right, whether
to
the signatures went
review
south.
board or anything else like that. It was
So let's
instantaneously.
say we did that app. Let's just throw this in here. We did that app.
So again,
And just
I
say
think we need to put
just
this
say
in the thought
100
process,
signatures weren't
and I think
valid.
it's a
It was
common
just
sense rule, and
bots.
things will change.
Well, that's a hard
and
thing
I'm
to
willing to
combat,
put myself out there even
there's
more.
good techs out there that could make it work. But you could turn right around
But I
and
really
do it one more
appreciate you
time.
guys just at least listening to me.
Instantaneously. In less than 30 days, you could get a
I want you all
recall
to have a
decision.
blessed day. I want you to be safe.
Not 6
And I want the
months
adults out
or a
there to
year
do one thing for
or
me.
never.
Stop thinking of yourself.
So
And
that's my
stop
thought
thinking
on
of the
recalls,
kids you don't
everybody.
know that have
Take
to
care
live
of
here for
yourself. Be
tomorrow.
happy.
That's
Have a
always
safe
been my
day,
fight, my
and I
battle.
greatly appreciate it. Give me your input. Persecuted all throughout. Didn't mean to point
So when
to
you
the
stop
ground.
caring about
Just trying to
kids
see the screen. I got a screen
that have
protector and it's
not
blue.
been
It's crazy.
tainted
All right. Take care, man. Give me your thoughts.
as of yet,
See
I
ya.
don't like the phrase virgins to the world. I don't like that. It makes it sound like a sacrifice. But the young, uncoerced minds have not been tainted by the dirty mouth and the dirty hate. And we turn around and show them how decent we can be and how kind we can be and how well we can turn around and take care of each other as a whole and human. But we've managed to forget that part. We've managed to forget every bit of that in this process around this nation. And for why is that? Is it so hard? I said I was going to stop, and I said talk longer. When you go to the stores, one of the first things that makes me hurt, and I was a stern father, not a physical father, but a very stern father. Not in the government way, not in a dictator way, but in that this is not how we do. But when I go into a store and I hear a kid cry because it wants something, or if it's had a bad day, it'd just be nice to go over there and take a magical hand and put on there and heal them so they can have a better day and smile and not be miserable. Because I always said to myself, when you hear a kid cry, you're supposed to go to the rescue. And there's a lot of kids out there crying right now, and ain't nobody going to the rescue. Shame on you guys. Shame on you, Joe Murphy, being an ex-superintendent, school teacher. Shame on you, Jim and Carol Hunter, for being churchgoers, commercial communities, and everything else, and the way you have created more divide amongst humans. Shame on you, Gary Shave, for being on the fire chief department, and you're not looking out for the well-being and the safety of the community and the well-being of other people. Here comes my guy, flying like he owned the town, watching. Bingo, my love. Is that who it is? Excessive speed. Oh yeah, Coughlin in the morning, right there. He don't use turn signals. He speeds. He can drive his trucks without tags on them in this community and not be held accountable because of the Good Old Boy Network. Yeah. That actually worked out pretty good. I did a video yesterday, but it was kind of nice that these people are showing up in my presence while I'm doing the videos, because these are the repeat offenders that are making America worse again, and they're Republicans. I have to say that because I thought Republicans are the ones telling the Democrats and everybody to walk this way. Woo! Not like this up here. The corruption in the 98th district is the worst. Is the worst in any local government that I've ever seen. Here, I've been involved in local governments before, but I've never seen anything like this 98th district. We're supposed to respect the farmers. We're supposed to respect everybody. Nah, no. That respect word goes both ways. If it only goes one way, it's called compliance. It's called dictatorship. But if it goes two ways, that's how it's supposed to work. The split. So anyways, I have to stop. I don't want my videos any longer. Persecuted author, I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate everything. And I hope you understand where I'm coming from. Take care of yourself. Be safe. Be blessed.